Have you gone through the answer? Have you seen the answer? Okay. And have you read that document completely? India, France? Have you read the document? Okay. What is strategic autonomy? What is strategic autonomy? What is strategic autonomy? First of all, what is strategic? See, this strategic autonomy is one of the key pillars of India's foreign policy. When India got independence, world was divided into two blocks. One is a Soviet Union bloc and other is an American bloc. And both of these two blocks are having their ideological preferences. Okay? Both blocks, whether it is US-led bloc, basically believes in capitalism, fine, and USSR bloc, they believe in socialism, or you can say communism, fine, socialism and communism. Basic difference between these two: private ownership. Of means of production. State ownership of means of production. Means in US-based system, private companies will be there and they will decide what to produce, when to produce, and how to produce. In socialist system, no private company, and one more important aspect, no private property. No private property. But no private property, people get confused. Fine? No private property is different from no personal property. Fine? So there is a difference between what is personal property and what is private property. Remember that socialism, capitalism, always against what? Private property, not personal property. Now, how to understand the difference between private property and personal property? When imagine a person is having two cars, fine, one with a yellow plate and one is a white plate. White plate car he is using for his own purpose, fine, own purpose, own commutation. So that is his personal property. Whereas the car which he have for income generation purpose, that is called private property. So if Mr. Ambani is having certain sources of income, fine, certain sources of income, like his refinery. So his refinery, Reliance Industries Limited refinery, that refinery is his private property, fine. Whereas the house he owns, that is his personal property. So socialism is going to target, communism is going to target what? Socialism, and communism is against private property. Means a refinery shall not be owned by Adani, Ambani or anyone. It should be owned by only whom? Government of India. Whereas if we have a pure capitalist system, no Indian Oil Corporation Limited, no Bharat Petroleum Corporation Limited, because these companies are owned by government of India. Then in the capitalist system, no government ownership, only and only whom? Private companies. Fine? Private companies. So when Second World War was over and in 1947 India got independence, So there are two blocks, and those two blocks are trying to take more and more countries in their side to assert that I have better ideology over your. So many countries got independence after 1945, after the Second World War, due to the decolonization. Before the starting of the Second World War, majority of the countries in Asia, Africa, and South America, they are under colony of various empires. Americans have captured certain territories. Japanese are controlling certain territories. European powers like Britain, France, Germany, Netherlands, all these countries are having their territory in Africa, Asia, and South America. After the Second World War's destruction, these countries are not capable of running their own country, and that is why they decided to leave those territories which they are ruling as a colony. So 1945 onwards, world have witnessed decolonization. Fine, decolonization, and this decolonization went for next 20 years. 1945 onwards to 1965, 1970s, many colonies in the various part of the world, they got independence, and these also have created a problem. What problem is being created? For example, imagine this is a territory. This part, this part, this part, this part, this part. So imagine this is a territory of Africa. This part is ruled by tribe A. This part is ruled by tribe B. This part is ruled by tribe C. This part is ruled by tribe D, E, and F. Now, what happened? British came, and British occupied this area. So that became what? British territory. Then French came, and French occupied this area. So this became what? French territory. Fine. Now Spanish came, and Spanish occupied this territory. So this became what? Spanish territory. Now this territory is taken by whom? This territory is taken by Germans. So it became German territory. Now when the decolonization happened, fine, they left. So now this area in the blue color, this area having certain A, B, and small area of whom? E. Small area of whom? E. Now what will happen? Who are in the majority? A and B are in the majority. E are in the minority. Now E is being targeted by A and B both. Leave this territory. A is saying that this territory belongs to me. B is saying that this territory belongs to me. So the internal fight started, and this E is being targeted by both. In certain cases, genocide happened. Ethnic cleansing happened. Completely destroyed all the people of that tribe. And still Africa is facing this issue. So decolonization have provided the independence, but the same decolonization have created the problem what Africa, Asia, and South America is even facing today. Fine. India-Pakistan issue. So India-Pakistan issue is an issue because of what? Because of British left the India, and they deliberately left India in a chaos. Fine. So these countries who got recently decolonized, they are facing twin issues. One, they are being pressurized by both blocs. Join us, join us. Second, they are facing their own internal challenges. Fine. Internal challenges, like India is facing challenge from Pakistan, and other challenges, separation. Many want separate country. So country is facing internal challenges. And sometimes to face these internal challenges, you need resources. And you do not have the resources. Who have the resources? These two blocks. And both blocks are saying that if you want to get my resource, you have to take my side. You have to take my side. So Nehru and other leaders from these countries who got recently decolonized, they started a movement, and that is called non-alignment movement. Non-alignment movement. NAM. So NAM was started. Fine. And NAM's philosophy was simple. There are two blocks. Fine. One is US bloc and other is Russian bloc. Russian bloc. Fine. So we consider both are required for us. We need both because we are a developing country and we are facing multiple challenges. So we cannot choose one over another because we need both. But because we need both, so we cannot go for one side. We will maintain a good relation with both sides, and at the same time, we are not going to join any side. That is why it is called non-aligned, because both blocks are saying that India should align with US, India should align with Russia. When I use the word aligned, what it means that? It means that if USA is saying Iran is bad, so India also have to say, yes, Iran is bad. India should not have their own view and perception with respect to the Iran. India's foreign policy with respect to Iran must be aligned with the foreign policy of whom? British bloc or Russian bloc. So this is called alignment. India said, no, we are not going to align. And the reason is we want both. And we want both, so we will cooperate with both. But at the same time, India will maintain equidistance from both bloc. So we will not join your bloc, neither your bloc. I will maintain good relation with both bloc. Fine. But if you see maintaining good relation with both bloc, but not involving with them, that is called non-alignment. So India followed the non-alignment policy from the beginning. Now, if you see this non-alignment policy as a practice, but if we will see non-alignment policy as a theory, so it is called strategic autonomy theory. Strategic autonomy. What is strategic autonomy? I am not going to be your puppet. I will take my decisions independently. Fine. I will cooperate with you on issue basis. I will cooperate with you on issue basis, and I am having my own way to see the issues and matter. So when US is saying that Iran is a country which is creating disturbance in the region, so India will say that it might be for you. Whether Iran is creating disturbance or not, India will see that in what way Iran is creating disturbance. If for India, Iran is not creating any disturbance, and we have historically very good relation with whom? Iran. And Iran and India trade is happening in the very well manner. And Iran never have targeted India. India have never targeted Iran. We do not have any conflict with Iran. Iran do not have any conflict with me. So for us, that is not an issue. So we will not agree with you on this matter. If Iran tomorrow going to attack on Qatar, fine. And we also have a good and friendly relation with the Qatar. And we realize that here Iran have committed a mistake. Then we will criticize Iran and we will say that any type of aggression is not good. Iran have to restrain itself. Do not attack on whom? Qatar. So our view with respect to Iran based on our own understanding and our foreign policy rather than dictated by any other country's foreign policy. So when we follow this practice, it is called strategic autonomy. Fine. Now what happened? World was divided. Though India said that we are non-aligned country. But if you'll see India's conduct of the foreign policy, India was more close to which bloc? Russian bloc. And the reason was this bloc was consistently arming and helping Pakistan. So India do not have a choice but to develop a close relationship with whom? Russia. And over the period of time, whenever Jammu Kashmir issue is bought by these countries in the United Nations Security Council. United Nations Security Council. Fine. Whenever India need a help, it is always provided by whom? Russians. So this is why India usually say Russia is India's natural ally. Why natural ally? Because whenever we need any help, any assistance, any kind of support, who naturally emerges? Russia. Even sometimes India do not ask, but Russia automatically offers. So over the period of time, we have developed a very close relationship with whom? Russia. And that is why there is a debate, is Russia is a natural ally? So answer is yes. Over the period of time, Russia become a natural ally of whom? India. Reason, not friendship, not emotions. Reason is India's interest in international relations and Russia's interest. They are aligning in the same side. So this is why over the period of time, Russia and India become a natural ally. But also remember this, in international relations, there is no friend, there is no enemy. In international relations, conduct of a one country is purely based on country's interest. Fine? Interest. So remember this, when India have a relation with Russia, US or any country, India's relation with that country is a interest based, not emotion based. Though emotions, people to people cooperation, clicking a selfie, all these things are looking like, and that look how good relation with India and France have. For example, when French president have welcomed Prime Minister Modi, fine. Do you know which song was played? Do you know that meeting start with which song? Fine. Like for example, you are inviting people in your party. So party songs will be played now. So wedding ceremony, wedding songs will be played. When Modi ji reached there, they played a song from Dhurandhar. Ari Ari. Fine. So they played this song. So that looked like very emotional. And few months back, when French president came to India, he attended the AI summit. Fine. And you know what he did? He was in the Mumbai. He started his journey from the Mumbai. And in early morning, he left his place, embassy's house, where, not embassy's, the French residential office. He went for morning walk, jogging. He went for jogging on the Chowpatty. And people are like, French president. And he was like moving and just giving this thumbs up to everyone, and everyone completely shocked. It's a big thing, like a foreign country, and France is not any country. France is a big power. Fine. So French president in your country, he's so comfortable. He is in his jogging shoes, jogging dress, and he's roaming without any kind of the armor and something like that. Usually it never happens. Fine. You know why it never happens? Because the president and prime minister, they are under protocol. They are under protocol. मैं आपको छोटा सा इंसिडेंट बताता हूँ प्रोटोकॉल पे. Barack Obama was the president of USA in past. So Barack Obama was invited India कि you can be the chief guest of India's Republic Day parade. Barack Obama accepted. He accepted that thing. Now Barack Obama is supposed to come, but you know one issue came. As per US protocol, US president cannot sit in the open space for more than half an hour. You are not allowed. US security law says that, US security protocol says that president is not allowed to sit in the open space for more than half an hour. Fine. Now there's a dilemma because parade usually go for 45 minutes to 1 hour to 1.5 hours. So you have to sit there along with the Indian president during the parade for 1.5 hours. Then Barack Obama have changed it. No. We do not want to disrespect India's Republic Day parade. I will be there and will sit for 1.5 hours. Fine. And Delhi, you know that highly polluted. Fine. You know what Delhi government and government of India have did? Delhi government and government of India have cleaned majority of the tree. And how they have cleaned, do you know? Shampoo. So in the tanker, they have filled with the Clinic Plus shampoo and water, and they put on what? Majority of the water means trees. So that the dust particle should not be stick and there should not be too much issue. And when we are roaming on the road and this is, यार क्लिनिक प्लस कहाँ महक रहा है ये क्लिनिक प्लस का स्मेल कहाँ से आ रहा है एंड एंटायर स्ट्रीट इज स्मेलिंग लाइक क्लिनिक प्लस सो वन स्टूडेंट वाज इन GHMC आई आस्क्ड हिम कि भाई क्या चल रहा है दिल्ली इज स्मेलिंग लाइक क्लिनिक प्लस then he said that sir this is a kind of a protocol we are doing that because we have to maintain the air quality to that standard to make sure US president is going to be remain seated. So sometimes see it is emotions, fine, emotions. Modi ji gifted melody to Meloni and it became a kind of a joke and memes in India. Fine. But that is showing a affection. India's affection for Italy, not Modi ji's affection for whom? Meloni. Fine. But people are like, see, people do not have the understanding of the word called as a statecraft. Fine. So the word is called statecraft. And for the statecraft means how I can assure my country's interest should prevail. And now I'll give you the reason why India want a good relation and close relationship with the Italy. Italy have a well-developed defense industry. And one Italian company, that name is Leonardo. And Leonardo is known for their high quality defense product, very high quality defense product. And this Leonardo company manufacture one torpedo, heavyweight torpedo, Black Shark torpedo. And Italy is selling that torpedo to Pakistan also. And that torpedo is going to be a big threat for Indian ships as well as submarine if it is sold to whom? Pakistan. So finally, India is able to convince whom? Italy. Ki do not sell that torpedo to whom? Pakistan. Fine. So वो toffee or chocolate जो दिया जा रहा है, fine. That is not my affection to that particular individual. But public तो public है. Fine. Public को क्या है? Public को तो entertainment चाहिए होता है. Public want entertainment, but statecraft is something different. Fine. So the objective is to convince Italy to have close defense relationship with India and do not help whom? Pakistan to build their capability against India. Fine. So this is a reason why we need to have a good relationship with whom? Italy. Understood? So that is called statecraft. Now, in that phase, 1945, 1947 to 1991, in that phase, India became very close to whom? Russia. Fine? Russia. After 1989, what happened? Just briefly, I'm going to let you know. Germany. So half of the Germany was in the control of American bloc, half of the Germany was in the control of Russian bloc. Fine? After Second World War. And especially in the Berlin city, wall was created. That is called Berlin Wall. But ultimately, the people of Germany in 1989, they dismantled that wall and they started Germany's unification from East Germany to West Germany to only one Germany. And that has created more confidence in those countries who are in Russian bloc. And who are in the Russian bloc? Majority of East European countries. So majority of the East European country, they are in the Russian bloc and they also started giving up that bloc. And this is what happened from 1989. The disintegration of Soviet Union started. By 1991, Soviet Union was completely disintegrated. Now only one power is left. Which power? US. Fine. So when power is left, US. So what is the purpose of NAM right now? NAM was created to stay away from bloc politics. Which bloc politics? US bloc and Russian bloc. But Russian bloc dismantled, only Russia is there and only US is there. So there is no need for NAM. So India said no, NAM is still required. Our support to your view and our position with respect to your point is based on our understanding of the issue, and we will never leave the concept of strategic autonomy. So when Russia have attacked on Ukraine, Western countries started pressurizing India, criticize Russia, criticize Russia, criticize Russia. So India said that criticizing Russia, you are asking to criticize Russia. Have you criticized Pakistan when they attacked on India? When they did the terrorist attack in India, have you criticized? No. So you have to understand your problem is your problem, not world's problem. The famous line of whom? S. Jaishankar. Europe have to understand Europe's problem is Europe's problem, not world's problem. Fine. So India says that, see, we are against the war. War is not a solution of anything. And we request both parties, Russia and Ukraine, to resolve that matter peacefully. But why we do criticize Russia? Why do we criticize Russia? And why do criticize Russia on your point? Why we criticize on your point? Have you supported India in past? Never. You always aligned with whom? Pakistan. So you are targeting Russia because your interest. And this is why we are also being allowed. See, simple. If you are doing wrong and telling me the morality, I should not do wrong. So I can do right or wrong as per my view. You are doing right and wrong as per your view. You cannot tell me that your view is the right view and my view is the wrong view. Like you have your own way to understand what is right, what is wrong. Similarly, India also have what is right, what is wrong. And India and Russia relations are so special, very special. No country in the world has such kind of relationship. I'll prove it. I have one example which no country in the world have. Have you some idea of the submarine? So submarines are basically a submerged vessel, fine, under the sea. And because they are under the sea, it is very difficult to detect in general. And basically, when we define the submarines, there are two types of the submarines. One is a conventional submarine and one is a nuclear propulsion based submarine. Now, conventional submarine uses diesel, electric, fine. So they can remain submerged maximum to maximum 45 to 60 days. After that, they have to surface. Whereas nuclear submarines, they use the nuclear propulsion, they have nuclear reactor. So because they have a nuclear reactor, they need not to surface for energy need. They will surface only when they need food and other supplies. Till then, they can submerge. So means if it is a nuclear submarine, you can submerge it for 6 months if you have the supply. Fine. Understood? Now, even the nuclear submarines are of two types. They are of two types. One is called SSN and one is called SSBN. Fine. One is SSN and other is SSBN. It is nuclear attack submarine. It is nuclear ballistic missile submarine. Do you remember yesterday I told you one concept of deterrence? Do you remember deterrence? What is deterrence? Preventing other side to attack. Fine. preventing other side to attack. Now imagine a situation, two countries, India and China. Okay? China saw the opportunity to completely destroy India and they launched their nuclear weapon towards whom? Just imagine. Don't be get scared or worried. Just imagine a hypothetical situation. So China has went for surprise attack. And with that surprise attack, they have destroyed all the missiles which India do have on the surface, air and sea surface. So India's land, India's sea surface and India's air, all those things are being destroyed. Can India reply? India can reply only when India have what? SSBN. What happened? India's land, fine? India's land and air and sea surface. All those assets are destroyed by surprise nuclear attack by whom? China. But if India have SSBN, which is a large submarine, and they are relatively small submarines. Who? SSN. So these large submarines, they are basically carrying silos, fine, in which they have missiles. So they have missiles and they are moving under the sea in slow pace and they can remain submerged for the long time. So they can cross Malacca Strait and they are somewhere in the South China Sea. And once they got the signal, what signal? The majority of the India's surface asset is being destroyed. Then what this submarine can do? This submarine can launch its own ballistic missile towards where? China, and they can also destroy major part of whom? China. So if a country have SSBN, then it is actually country's insurance. It is actually country's insurance. Why it is country's insurance? Because it is going to ensure China is not going to attack on India. But suppose India do not have an SSBN. Can India attack China? No. Why? Because China have already destroyed sea surface, land surface and air assets. So India cannot retaliate. India can retaliate finally against China in what condition? When India is also having SSBN. So there is a term called as credible minimum deterrence. Yesterday I told you about deterrence. What deterrence means? Preventing the other side to attack. So how we can ensure we are going to have a minimum credible deterrence? When a country is having nuclear ballistic missile submarine, it is going to provide what? Credible minimum deterrence. Fine. Credible minimum deterrence. Fine. Now let's understand this one also. Though these submarines are not going to provide credible minimum deterrence, but they are actually hunter-killer. Hunter-killer. By the name, it's clear. Their job is not to launch missiles on any other country. Their job is to detect such kind of the submarines and hunt them down under the sea. Fine. Detect, attack and destroy all those things which are in your area. So only few countries in the world, they have both. Even India have this one. India do not have SSN. India do not have an SSN. Why India do not have an SSN? As we can see that they are very of compact size. So you have to develop a nuclear reactor of very small size which can be fitted in the small submarine. And that is why it is complex to develop. But when India started facing a challenge, then something remarkable did by Russia back in 1988. Russia have leased its one SSN to India. And these submarines, just for your reference, these submarines are a well-guarded secret. Even countries' own people are not going to be given glimpse about it. So it is impossible any country is going to lease its nuclear attack submarine to any other country. But Russia have so much trust on the India, and that is why they have given their submarine, which is nuclear attack submarine, to India for 10-year lease. You can have that submarine and you can operate in your area. So this 10 years lease of SSN was INS Chakra. So India operated INS Chakra for 10 years and India developed some experience. Fine. And then in 1997, India started Advanced Technology Vessel Program, ATV. And under Advanced Technology Vessel Program, India have developed its SSBN. So what India do have credible minimum deterrence today? That is because of help of whom? Russia. So this is why India trusts too much on Russia. And Russia also have too much trust on whom? India. Understood? So maybe France is a country who is emerging as a best technology providing country to India. But remember that France is driven by its own interest, and sometimes India and France interests are not going to be matched. And French are a little bit conservative to share their technology. Russians are more open to share their technology. So this is why India and Russia are having a special relationship. India and France are developing good relationship. Understood? So have you understood the comparative study of India-France relation and India-Russia relation? Again, I will provide you a document today. Fine? India-France, India-Russia relation. And on that basis, I will send you the question also. So in that document, when you read that document, read the document. And at the end of the document, you will find one question. That question you have to attempt, and after 1 or 2 hours, you will also get a model answer of that question. Okay? In this way, we will go today. So I think it is clear. Now, yesterday, one remarkable thing happened, which is being a headline of majority of the newspaper today. Which headline? US-Iran agreement. US-Iran agreement. Though the fine details of the agreement is still not clear. Fine. Only one thing is clear. Hormuz is going to open by coming Saturday. From coming Saturday onwards, Hormuz is going to be open, and it is going to be open for any kind of the ship movement, and there will be no war between whom? No war between Iran and US. But certain things are still not clear. One, Iran's enriched uranium will go where? Whether Iran can enrich uranium further or not. If yes, to what extent? So all these fine details are still pending. These fine details are still pending. So this is why still you have to have a close eye on the developments. It will take another few days in order to get more clarity on the matter, because still both sides are making some provocative statements. And fine. And the funny thing is, like in Hindi, there is a famous saying, Mia, Bivi or Wo. Fine. Husband, wife and third person. So in this matter, Iran, US, and there is third person, that is Israel. Israel. So US says that we are going to do this peace. Fine. Iran is saying that any peace will be meaningful only when this peace will be extended to Lebanon also. Means Iran want Israel immediately stop all the attack he is doing on Lebanon and Lebanon's capital Beirut. And while doing this attack, Israel have occupied 1/3 of Lebanon. So Iran is saying that any peace will be meaningful only when attack by Israel is going to stop and Israel will go back to their territory and they will leave the territory of whom? Lebanon. Fine. Israel is saying that, bro, it's not going to happen because we are against Hezbollah and they are operating from Lebanon, and according to Israel, they are a terrorist group and they are attacking on whom? Israel. So unless we will not eliminate them, we are not going to leave this territory. Iran is saying that till then, Israel is not going to stop the attack and retreat from the Lebanon. There is no proper peaceful agreement. So if US and Iran is going to agree for the peace, but tomorrow if Israel is going to attack, fine. Have you watched the movies? Like in majority of the movies, if you see that, suppose if our hero in the movie who is in the negative character, means he's a don, fine, or he is a fearsome kind of a don or something like a gun, whatever. He do not do all this thing on his own. He have one his henchman, and he just going to do this, and his henchman is going to do all this carnage. He go for sometimes, but majority of his other work, means the dirty work, is done by his henchman. So Israel is a kind of a henchman of whom? US. So all the dirty work which US want to do in the Middle East, it is being done by whom? Israel. So at one instance, US is dealing with the peace with whom? Iran. But the moment US is going to see that Iran is not able to understand this thing, then they will do this with whom? Israel, and Israel again going to be offensive. Fine. So Middle Eastern politics need to be understood in the more deeper manner. So allow me one particular complete class where I will take the class and I'll tell you the entire Middle Eastern politics. In this week, I'll take one session and I'll explain you, because I'm waiting, like more details should be out. More details will be out. Once the more details are going to be out, then I will take a session, one dedicated session. And in that dedicated session, I will explain you all things which happened till then now and what are the possible outcomes which can be there after this war and the peace. Fine, we'll take this. But how this war have created an impact on world economy, on countries' growth, that is beyond calculation. Means what 107 days war have did, that can be recovered even not in next 2 years. In that 107 days war, whatever the destruction happened, especially important critical infrastructure like energy line, energy pipeline infrastructure, all this infrastructure, it got destroyed. It take another 2 years to repair and make it again in the same position as it was before 28th of February. Fine. So these things are going to be analyzed in upcoming days in the newspaper. So in the upcoming days of the newspaper, you will see lot of news related to what? Lot of news related to this matter. Okay. Now, if you see the today's newspaper, fine. As I said that, first is regarding what? First is regarding US-Iran. As I said that, I'll deal in the detail. India and Slovakia expand ties with the series of MOUs from defense to education. What is MOU? That is full form. What is it? What is it? Agreement. Agreement on what? If it is an agreement, it should be called as an agreement. It should be called as an agreement. But it is called MOU. What is MOU? MOU. Memorandum of Understanding, that is a full form. But what is it? So MOU basically means I agree with you to do a cooperation on this matter. When two parties are agreed to move forward on some matter jointly. So India want Slovakia to purchase certain weapons from India. Slovakia is also saying that we are expecting Indian companies or Indian government is going to purchase certain weapons from whom? Slovakia. So both sides sit together. They are having this wish. India is wishing that Slovakia should purchase certain weapons from India. Slovakia is wishing India should purchase some weapons from whom? India. So till then now it was a wish. But now when our Prime Minister visited Slovakia, then Slovakia as a country have told India that means we are interested to purchase artillery weapons from whom? Slovakia. And India said that we are interested to purchase firearms, small firearms from whom? Slovakia. And in this regard, our companies are going to engage Indian government, and Indian government is going to engage with whom? Slovakian companies. So Indian government said that we are interested to purchase these weapons and from these companies. So now we will negotiate. So we agree to purchase, but what we are going to purchase, whether we are going to purchase or not, that will depend upon the negotiations. So now we are in principle agree to purchase from Slovakia, and Slovakia is also in principle agree to purchase from whom? India. If Indian company are going to fulfill Slovakia's requirement, India will purchase, and if Slovakian companies are going to fulfill India's requirement, then India will purchase. So in principle, we agreed to cooperate further in order to achieve an agreement. So memorandum of understanding is a process to further expedite the cooperation in the given points. So for example, earlier, India should purchase weapons from Slovakia. Slovakia should purchase weapons from India. But now it is not weapons. What weapons? What quantity? Which company? All these things are agreed between whom? India and Slovakia. These companies are going to engage with this Indian company, and these Indian companies are going to engage with Slovakia in this manner. So when you agree for further cooperation and text-based cooperation, one is cooperation. I will help you. I said I will help you. Fine. Other side that you said that I will help you. Other side that okay, I will pay you for that help. But how you are going to help and how they are going to pay, is it clear? With this statement is clear. I will help you, and other side said that I will pay you. But is it clear what help, to what extent, in what way? Is it clear? No. Similarly, how you will pay, when you will pay, fine, it is not clear. But once the memorandum of understanding will sign between these two sides, then they will say that I will help you in the dimension of A, B, and C, not in D, E dimension. So my help with respect to you is going to be in this direction, and you have to pay me in this way. So now we have created a text for help and payment. Then we will sign what? MOU. So when it is being defined on what basis we are going to cooperate, in what way we are going to cooperate, in what way we are going to proceed further, then this term is called as memorandum of understanding. Because it comes on almost daily basis in the newspaper, MOU, but you do not pay attention. And this is what UPSC is looking for. Fine, tomorrow they are going to make a question. Consider the following statement about the nature and characteristic of MOU versus agreement. Fine, and then you are going to be completely choked. MOU to suna tha bahut baar. I have heard MOU multiple times, but I do not exactly know what MOU means. So this is what is a difference between a person who is a civil servant and civil person. So civilian and civil servant. Civil servants are those people who always focus on the niche details, micro details. What is it? Why it appears multiple times? Abhi samajh mein aaya? You got what MOU means? Okay, good. So read this. It is an important. And one more thing. Write an assignment. Write an assignment. In recent time, India has increased. India has increased its engagement. India has increased its engagement with Central European and Eastern European countries. Including Nordic, Nordic, Nordic countries. India has increased its engagement with Central European, Eastern European, and Nordic countries in the recent time. Fine. What are the main objective? What are the main objective of India to increase cooperation? What are the main objective of India to increase cooperation with these countries? Objective of India to increase cooperation with these countries. Fine. So just try and make an effort. This time I'll suggest you, let's see how you are able to do that. Fine. This time I will not suggest you to use what? GPT. Fine. Use your Google search and ability. Fine. Without using of AI, just see that to what extent you are able to find. Fine. First try to find on your own way. Once you will find certain things, then you can check ki what you have find that is fine or not. For that, I will also provide you that thing. Fine. Yesterday's assignment is pending with me. Have you completed yesterday's assignment? Have you written? How many of you have written yesterday's assignment? Okay, good, very nice. What happened? Huh? Today only? Okay. Little bit louder, yeah? Today joined. Okay. Here, who have not wrote the assignment? Why? Solve questions. Anyone who is feeling that I am not getting the time to solve the assignments or doing those assignments? Because of that, you are not doing this thing? Not getting the time? See, gradually you have to increase. If you are not able to write, at least try to as much as you can write. And these assignments are actually going to help you. Fine. It is going to increase your ability to make your own notes. Fine. And you should not be worried when history, geography, polity will start. We will start. We can start tomorrow itself. But certain warm-up exercise is required. ठीक है, अभी आपसे यही नहीं हो रहा है. You are not able to do these assignments. When the class will properly start, you will be under tremendous pressure. Fine. And then you will choked up. So please do these things. And they are as important as the regular class. I don't know why you people are chasing what it is not with you. You are not happy and satisfied with what is with you. You are always looking ki what is not with you. रोने वाला मतलब क्या है? Always crying. Fine. Come out of this habit. I do not have this. I do not have that. When it will happen? What will happen? Are where you are in the present, focus on that and polish your skills. Subject can be started at any point of time. And we will do it in a systematic manner. But if you are not having this habit of reading the newspaper, making assignments, solving the questions, then the subject is going to be start and over, and you will be not able to do anything. So assignments are something which need to be done religiously. Fine. Gradually, you should develop your skills, and then at a fine point of time, you will start. We know that we have to start because we have to finish it also. But for that, you should ready yourself. Fine. You should ready yourself. If you not makes yourself ready, then it is not going to work now. So do those works. Fine. So yesterday's assignment, if you have did that, then allow me today. Fine. Today by evening, I'll send you my assignment, how I have categorized it. How I have categorized it, how I have mentioned it, just for a comparison. Fine. So with my comparison and what you have did, just see that and accordingly adapt. Accordingly adapt those things. So it will help you to refine your skills, to make notes and to make your short notes, which is very important for any subject. When you are going to write notes in the class, so notes are going to be 700 to 800 pages notes of all subjects combinedly. Fine, history, geography, polity, economy, all these notes are going to be 700 to 800 pages notes. Fine. Can you revise all those notes in 3 days? No. So what you need to do? Short notes. So if your polity notes are of 200 page, so ultimately you have to concise in 20-30 pages. And for that, your notes making skill is going to work. And that note making skills are going to be developed with what? With your daily assignment kind of an approach. So this is why I have given, and this is why I am going to give. If you do have any issue, then go to hell with your issue. I don't care. Fine. These are the prerequisite which you need to do at any cost. Fine. There is no if and but. Fine. Try to push yourself. See, I am not saying that I want 100%. I want 100% commitment. If you have made an effort, you are not able to complete it, I am okay with that. I do not have an issue. What I want, many students who are not able to clear yesterday. Fine. And it was very painful for me. Fine. Not able to sleep till then 3 a.m. Because I was also kind of a crying. Here, this should not happen. If one minor mistake have caused your attempt, a promising student who is doing all of his work for the entire year, but ultimately in that 2 hours, he got choked and he was not able to clear the CSAT cutoff. In CSAT, he was having 64 and general studies, he was scoring 97. General studies score is 97, where people are struggling to even reach 70. He scored 97 and he lost the CSAT by 3 marks. In third attempt. Last 2 times he wrote the mains examination. Not able to clear the mains examination, past 2 attempts. This time he choked. So I am very sad for him. Fine. So, I am trying to give you the scenario. This is very highly unpredictable area. You need to remain consistent for all the time. For all the year hard work have went in just 2 hours. So this is what we are going to face. This is what is going to happen. Certain students have cleared. Fine. One student, she cleared in 4th attempt prelims. Everyone enjoying her house. Fine. At least she is able to clear, because parents are also sometimes under pressure. Society is asking consistently, your daughter is preparing for past 3 attempts. She is not even able to clear the prelims. Koi baat nahi. So this is a kind of pressure people feels. Fine. So though it's a small success, but it's a big thing to find your name in what? Find your name in the list of the UPSC, where 6.5 lakh people are going to attempt. You have make it in last 10,000 people. Then in the mains, it's a big thing. It's going to give you the great confidence. Fine. But for that, the consistency, the remain, push yourself. Again, I'm telling you, I am not demanding you should complete the work. What I am demanding you is give your 100% effort. If you are not able to finish all the work, I am fine with that. But I do not want you have not make your effort. You made your effort, you are not able to complete, fine. Because tomorrow you will complete, I know that. But if you not make your effort on a daily basis, then what will happen? Your ability to get select is not going to reach the optimal level. So understand this. what work is being completed or not, it is not important at this point of junction. At this point of junction, you have to develop one skill to give your 100%. Sleep with what? Peace. I may have not completed the task, but I have make my 100% effort, and tomorrow morning I'll wake up and I'll remain work, I will finish. If not by today, then tomorrow. If not by tomorrow, day after tomorrow, but I will finish. Fine, I will finish. So this is attitude what I want to develop in you. Okay. So if you are not able to finish the work, don't worry. But it doesn't mean that sir ne bol diya hai, you don't finish the work. I'm not saying this. I am saying that give your effort. Fine. If not able to complete, fine. Complete it next day or day after tomorrow. But finish it. Okay. Finishing ability is required. Finishing on the time as a beginner is not happening. That is not an issue. Okay. So do this assignment. Okay. What I have just given you. Do this assignment, and the previous assignment what you have, finish it. Okay. Now. India's good exports hit record high 45.2 billion in the May. Trade deficit widens. Trade deficit means what? Basically, when we talk about the trade deficit, fine, trade deficit. So how much total exports? Total exports, and how much India's total imports? Fine, trade. So trade happens in goods and services. So if we are going to see here, merchandise exports, when it is said that merchandise export, it is talking about goods only. Fine. So India is purchasing more goods and selling less goods, and that is why we have what? Trade deficit. Means our total imports are greater than total exports. Fine. Now see here, you will get more clarity. I'll explain you. So as I said that total export, in short TE, it is comprised of exports of goods and export of services. Similarly, total imports comprise of again goods and services. So when it is about services, India's total export of service is greater than imports of services. But when we see exports of goods, fine, it is less than what? Imports of goods. Okay, and the overall value of this import of goods, fine. So for example, India is exporting in value of 400 and importing in the value of 600, whereas India is exporting the good services in the number of 400 and India is importing in the number of 300. So import of the services, how much value? 300. Export of the services, how much value? 400. India's export of the good, 400. Import of the good is how much? 600. Now, if I will write this, total exports. So total exports is comprised of exports of goods as well as export of services. Similarly, import of services is comprised of import of goods plus imports of services. What is total value? 600 plus 300, that is 900. Whereas export value is goods 400, export value of services is 400. So our total exports value is how much? 800, and total import value is how much? 900, and that is why we have a deficit of how much? 100. And that deficit is because of the service or because of the goods? Because of the service or because of the goods? Goods. So India, in this news, what they are mentioning, Merchandise exports rose all-time high in May 2026 in the $1 billion, but still what we have? Trade deficit. Understood the trade deficit? Have you got the clarity regarding the trade deficit? Fine. Now, write a question or assignment. Identify the reasons. Identify the reasons causing trade deficit in India. Causing trade deficit in India, and suggest way forward. So last month, Modi ji came to Hyderabad. Fine. Modi ji came to Hyderabad, and while attending a conference or some event, while attending that event, he made one announcement, or he not make an announcement. He made a request, and that request have triggered a storm. Fine, in the market as well as in the politics. Fine. And do you know what he requested? He requested Indians do not purchase gold for at least 1 year. Fine, at least 1 year, do not purchase the gold. In politics, why storm have came? Because opposition have targeted the Indian economic situation is getting very worse and bad, and that is why government is desperate. And desperation is in terms of government is asking or requesting or pleading to whom? Public, because they do not have any control over the economy. Market was shaken because many people accepted the request of the Prime Minister and they give up to purchase a gold. Though some people started purchasing more, fine, but some people have did that. So the question arises, हमें politics से ज़्यादा लेना नहीं है, fine, but we should know that कि why Prime Minister have made this statement. Now again, if I will go to this data, fine, if I will go to this data, import of goods is how much? 600. Now we know that we are an energy deficient country. Fine, we are an energy deficient country, and because we are an energy deficient country, our 90% need of petroleum and gas are imported. We are fulfilling through what? Imports. So out of this 600, almost 250 value is related to what? Energy imports. But after energy import, the second largest import by India is gold. Indian people have obsession with gold. Fine. Gold. Import of gold. Fine. Gold. Fine. So this gold-based obsession in India is causing a problem. India do not have its own gold reserves. So majority of the gold which we do purchase is coming from outside the India. Fine. Majority of the gold which we are purchasing is coming from outside the India. That means we are paying imports. So our import bill is comprising the second largest after energy imports. It is what? Gold. Fine, gold imports. So, acha, why Modi ji have not asked to stop the energy? Fine. Why Modi ji have not said that? Modi ji have said that, and he said that the unnecessary usage of trips and other things kindly stop, avoid it right now. But the issue is energy sources. The energy sources are important to run your economy. So until unless you do not have a proper energy sources, it will be problematic for you. Why it will be problematic for you? Because in order to run your economy, you need fuel. And that is why Prime Minister have not asked for it, because energy imports are essential imports. Prime Minister requested avoid unnecessary imports. Non-essential imports should be reduced. Essential imports should be there, but non-essential imports should be reduced. So how India can decrease its trade deficit? India can decrease the trade deficit by two ways. Either you have to increase your exports or decrease your imports. So it is like you went to some person's house for lunch or dinner, and at the end of that process, like when the dinner is being over, the person have asked, in a dessert we have two things, gulab jamun and gajar ka halwa. What you like to have? I said, do you have only one cup? It means if you have both gulab jamun and gajar ka halwa, bring both. Why you are asking? Why you are asking what you want? Are it's sweet. I want both. Why you are asking what you like to have? Are I would like both. Simple. When option isn't available, so I should not treat which option I have to choose. I will choose both. If situation will allow, I will choose both. For example, whether you like to travel by a train or by air. So I will see that which option is going to be more feasible. So I will choose one. But if it is about to having a dessert, why not both? So my point here is that when people are giving you the choice, either this or that, we should not fall in that trap. We should see that both are required for us or only one for required us. If both are required us, we will demand both. If only one is required for us, we will use the concept of opportunity cost. Anyone have an idea of opportunity cost? Some people are from economics background. कौन-कौन था economics background वाला? हाँ. Within the limited resources, choosing best alternative. Very good. So opportunity cost, simple. अभी आप ऐसे समझो. You are sitting here. Majority of the people are sitting here and they have completed their graduation. Yes. So after completing their graduation, you was actually having two choices. Go and pursue your career in your particular field. But you have chosen to remain, be as an aspirant and prepare for it. Imagine a doctor. Fine? Doctor or engineer, professionals. Fine? Especially doctor. So Dr. Saab have decided to prepare for what? Civil services. His doctor friend have decided to do the practice. So the doctor friend who decided to do the practice, he joined one hospital and he started earning. Fine. This doctor have decided to prepare for what? Civil services. So now take the case of both doctors. Doctor one who decided to prepare for the civil services, he see that maybe civil services preparation at point of time is not going to give me the income in the short run because I'm not going to do the practice. But in the longer run, if I will be get selected in the civil services, I will have more better power, prestige and influence to help the society in a greater manner than my doctor friend. So I am considering there is more incentive in this option over this option. So when we have choices to choose, how to choose? So if I have 5 options, so I will put all those options as its utility. Which option is more suitable for me? So suppose if a person is having A, B, C, D and E option. Fine. So I have to choose one. So I am not going to do not in this way. I will see what is the utility of A, what is the utility of B, what is the utility of C, what is the utility of D, and what is the utility of E. And after comparing, I have put in the descending order. I found A is least useful for me. Then it is C, then it is B, then it is D and E. So I found these are utility based choice, and I have eliminated these three, not required. Now I have to choose between whom? D or E. And here I will choose E because E have some more benefit over whom? D. So the difference of benefit between D and E is called as opportunity cost. Understood? What is opportunity cost? So majority of the decisions are being taken on the concept of opportunity cost. Okay? So now see, we have a issue. India have a what? Trade deficit. So shall we go for focus only on increasing the exports, or shall we focus on only decreasing the non-essential imports? See, again, very precise. Trade deficit is there. Why? Because we have more imports and less exports, right? Right? Now we have to decrease this trade deficit. In order to decrease the trade deficit, we have to go for either focusing on the exports or focusing on the imports, but we have chosen for both. Let's focus on both, increasing the exports and decreasing the imports. But be very precise. When I say decrease the imports, I mean to say decrease the essential imports or decrease the non-essential imports. This is the difference between answer and good answer. So when you are writing in general, decrease the imports and fine. Now further refine it. When I say exports, we are doing fairly well in the exports of services, but our exports in the goods are not as good as in the exports of services. So when we say increase effort should be on what? When we say इधर वहां कहां देख रहे हो? Focus here ना? So when we say focus on what? Exports, increase the exports. So increasing the exports should be focus on both exports of goods and exports of services. But more attention should be given to what? Exports of goods, because we are lacking in that. Now exports of goods, how we can focus on it? One way of focusing on it, the lesson which we have learned in the last class, when India's logistic cost and China's logistic cost is compared. So India is paying more for the transportation of raw material, finished goods, whereas China is paying less for movement of raw material and finished goods. So we cost, yes or no? Yes. And for that purpose, India should be more focused on developing good quality in terms of dedicated freight corridor, where the goods train are there, which are dedicated for what purpose? Track for goods train only. Similarly, a good port facility, transshipment hubs. So development of the transshipment hubs, quality ports, better railway structure, highways connecting the port and production lines, it will decrease India's logistic cost. And decrease in the logistic cost will help in increasing the exports. Whereas similarly, what we have to do, we have to focus on decreasing the non-essential imports. So in this way, you can refine your answer. Okay. So knowledge is layered process. Knowledge is not something. Fine. Knowledge is not something which you can acquire in a day. Fine. This notes is having 1, 2, 3 pages, and this is a single sheet. So if I will try to do this, which one is going to be drawn first? Single sheet or 3 paper sheet? Single sheet. But if I will fold it, This single sheet. Then which one? This is what I am trying to tell you. The same knowledge can be refined over the period of time. You need not to running for here and there. Ye bhi kar lo, wo bhi kar lo, all these things. Stick on one particular thing. Refine, 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 and refine. And do you know that you cannot fold it more than 8 times? Fine. And the 8th time when you are going to fold it, it is going to be strong. Even the most strongest person is not going to tear it. No one can tear it. No human can tear it. Machine can do, but human can't do that. So this is what my message to you. Knowledge is something not always running for ye bhi le lo, wo bhi pad lo. All these things. What you have, enrich it. Fine. So if I'm saying this, fine. So I will have this sheet, I will consolidate that sheet, then I will go for other sheet. Until unless I am not going to consolidate, I will not say that this source is bad. I have not consolidated it yet. So my message to you is knowledge need consolidation, and consolidation is a one-step process or multi-layered steps. Multi-layer, multiple effort is required. So here the key is not running for ABCD book, XYZ book. Students comes and ask, sir, which book I should purchase for the economics? I should purchase which one? So I have developed one very kind of a dialogue. Ramesh, Ganesh, Mahesh, Dinesh, Suresh. So there are 4 or 5 type of the writers in the economics. None of them is required. If you will completely focusing on the class notes, which I am going to deliver in my class, even I outrightly say this thing to the students, even if you will not read the NCERT for my lectures, still it is going to be no issue for you. Other NCERT you should cover. Other NCERT you should cover. But even if the economics NCERT you are not going to cover, it's okay. Reason. Economics is a little bit typical subject. Students are already scared. Even those who studied the economics, they are scared. Fine. And it is a bit technical in the nature. So I have developed my lecture plans in such a way, even a beginner who do not have the even knowledge of what economic means, he can understand. Fine. So I believe that, okay, even if you have not read, it's fine. Once the lecture is completed in the class, you can enrich your further knowledge while reading NCERT. But for coming for the lecture of the economics, you need not to read what? NCERT book. Fine. So see, I believe that I'll start with this way. Fine. I'll start with a plain paper, and gradually over the period of time, what I'll do? Consolidate, consolidate, consolidate your knowledge. For example, what we have just discussed, trade deficit. Fine. It is a part of balance of payment. Fine. And see, interestingly, majority of the books, if you have any book of economics, you can go and check. Balance of payment account is divided into 2 parts. Current account and capital account. But actually there are 3 accounts. Current account, capital account, and financial account. There are 3 accounts in the balance of payment. Fine. Which we need to further deep dive. So we will do those things. But you have to remain focused on that aspect. Okay? So are you going to do that work? Trade deficit? Okay? Do it properly. It is going to help you later on to understand, because trade deficit is a one topic on which you can find a frequently articles are being written, and connect the trade deficit with the wider economic problem. So countries' infrastructure, job growth, quality production, fine, less hurdle by the government. Sometimes government's rules and regulations are also prohibitory in the nature. You can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this. So there's a term called as ease of doing business. So government has to make sure the business activity should not be get impacted because of adverse laws. Second thing, government have to make taxation simple and easy. Third thing, those sectors which are not able to get the credit properly, they should get credit properly. And we have to push forward our manufacturing process. Fine. So if the manufacturing will be pushed, definitely India's ability to export the merchandise is going to increase. Yesterday we have seen one news where the Ashwini Vaishnaw, our Minister of Information Technology, he is saying that we are wishing more chip production is going to happen in India. More chip production means more advanced manufacturing is going to happen in India. So this is going to overall help the India. Fine. There's a case. So in such cases, what we do see, we see multiple things are happening. Fine. Now, one thing for today. Have you today's newspaper? Do you have today's newspaper? Okay. Now, one more assignment for you. Right. Right. In the newspaper, all the headlines in the newspaper shall be categorized with respect to GS paper 1, GS paper 2, GS paper 3 and GS paper 4. Do this work. And this is the work which you are supposed to do daily from tomorrow before coming to the class. Everyone in the class, everyone in the class should have one A4 sheet paper. On A4 sheet paper, I want the heading and its connection with which GS paper. Heading and GS paper connection. Heading, GS paper connection. Heading, GS paper connection. And filter those articles which are not required to read. Filter those articles. Remaining articles, heading, connection. Heading, connection. I want this before starting off my class. I will check each and everyone's work, then I'll start my class. So this work is prerequisite. Have you did the work on G7? Group of 7 countries. Now, one more thing you have to do, the BRICS countries. Profiling of BRICS countries. Similarly, have you did now of what? You have did of the G7. Now, today you have to do the same work for what? BRICS countries. Why BRICS countries? Because this year, BRICS presidency is with whom? India. So, India is going to organize a BRICS meeting. And in this BRICS meeting, Chinese president and Russian president are going to be the part. So the blockbuster event is going to happen in India this year with what? That is BRIC. Fine. The term is coined by a bank, or you can say financial company, not bank, financial company, that is Goldman Sachs. So Goldman Sachs, they have given the word BRIC, B-R-I-C. Brazil, India, Russia, China. So these countries are considered as emerging economies, can grow very fast. So in that context, BRIC have came into the picture. Understood? So do the work on the BRIC. I will send you the material. Fine? Chalo. See you tomorrow.